Welcome back to Let's Talk Tuesday. This is the podcast where we have real conversations about learning, leadership, and what it truly takes to help people and organizations grow. Each week, we bring together different perspectives, experiences, and voices to explore what learning development really means, why it matters, and how we can do it better. Today, we have an extra special episode. We have two special guests, Kate and Kelsey from Durango, Colorado, who have over collectively 3 decades combined years of experience in marketing and startup operations. Welcome, Kate and Kelsey.
Thanks for having us, Amanda.
We're so excited to dig in and to talk. So I'm going to have each of you tell us a bit about your background and what your current focus is today. So Kate, can you please go first?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Kate Ishay. I'm the CEO and founder of Psyche Digital. My background is in marketing. I have a master's in global marketing management from Boston University. I've worked in marketing for large healthcare systems, for payment processors, and then also through agencies for companies that were getting ready to list on the United States or Canadian Stock Exchange for their IPOs. So yeah, very broad depth in marketing experience.
Very cool. And Kelsey?
And I'm a bit of a maverick. I've been on small teams and startups since college. Got bit by the bug early on, building things from nothing and working in agile spaces. And then moved into marketing formally in the last 10 years after a stint in China working with growth stage organizations. So have a special place in my heart for startups, small teams doing cool things, but then also a real passion for marketing and marketing technology.
That's amazing. And the two of you are working together now. Remind me, how long have you all known each other for? I think it's like a real fun one, right?
For
Yeah, so
a
we
long
actually
time.
met when we were 9 years old.
hmm
Our families lived close together in rural Colorado, and so we've had a very very long friendship. We always joke that before we could go and play and hang out together, we had to get our chores done, and so that taught us how to work together.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that. That's amazing. It starts so young. It's amazing. And you both talked a little bit about your focus today, but within your organization, what is your main focus today just before we dive in?
Yeah, so we opened our doors in 2021 as Psyche Digital after a 5-year stint in a marketing agency that was serving organizations listing on the stock exchange in North America, either Canada or the US. So since 2021, we have had the focus of startups and growth stage organizations in the Mountain West, with a real emphasis on visionary founders and technical founders that are trying to get more traction in their industry.
So any founder that has a really technical solution, they have a hard time explaining that story or connecting with their audience. We do that really well through branding, website design and development, and then ongoing marketing strategy.
Another differentiator for us is because of our background with the audience or with the businesses that are we're listing on the stock exchange. We understand the dual audience challenge of speaking to customers while also signaling to investors that you're ready for investment and VC and private equity.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because a lot of people wouldn't understand the complexity of that when you have like the two bosses, right? And so as a consultant myself, I'm used to having like you have the company that's paying you and then you have like their end client. And so how do
Yeah.
you balance both bosses to make sure both end up happy with the best result? So what does learning and development mean in your world?
Oh, it's huge. One of the things that defined Psyche Digital at an early stage for us was this idea that in marketing, there isn't truly a secret sauce, right? You can get online, you can get training on how to execute different tactics yourself, how to build a website yourself, right? There's all of these resources to deeply learn and understand marketing, human psychology, behavior, persuasion. And those are available. But then when you are a business owner, determining where you want to spend your time is, I think, a crucial question. And a lot of founders don't want to take the learning and development route themselves in marketing. They would prefer to hire specialists, right? And so we take it upon ourselves to be the experts, be the specialists, engage in all of the best learning that we can to bring the best recommendations. I think that comes to mind for me is just that there's so many resources available in the public sphere to learn some of the things that we know, um, which is
Yeah,
exciting.
we always tell people that there is no secret sauce. You can find how to do anything in marketing online, but it's probably going to take you more time than hiring help. So the real question is, do you want to invest dollars or do you want to invest your time? And if the dollar investment makes more sense, that's when you start talking to an agency like ours.
Yeah, I love that. And how we all met each other was through Alex Hormozzi stuff. And he always talks
Yeah.
about pulling your future forward. So what you all are talking about, which I really love, is, there's so much information out there that it can be completely overwhelming. And let's say you want to get better at this thing. Well, which expert do I listen to? And which course do I take? And so
Mhm.
what you're talking about is taking your collective expertise and pulling that through and helping them, like Alex would say, pull their future forward faster, right? Because you have that, you are the ones who are the experts in that specific niche and able to bring that to them faster than they could have kind of skilled up on their own.
Yeah, what he said several times while we were there was learn the lessons without the scars, right?
Yeah, oh, I love that one. I do love it. Learn the lessons without the scars. I love that. Why is learning and development so important, especially in today's world?
Well, I think we're in a world right now where everybody has access to every information. I mean, look at AI, look at all the things that are happening. Like these tools are making it easier to access information. And so that makes it so to have an edge in business and to be ahead in business, you do have to really focus on that learning and development piece because everyone has access to the same info. So if you're not taking that time to develop, to learn, to grow your skills, you're behind automatically.
Well, I think one other thing that is becoming to build on that too, one other skill set that's becoming more important is this ability to draw knowledge in. So rather than just reflecting back things that you're picking up from a search or from a chat GPT chat or something like actually internalizing information, changing your behaviors, changing your habits, and making that part of what you do and who you are. That extra step is something that is going to be more and more important than just reflecting the information around you.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. I hate that when you have a conversation with someone and they're like, "Oh, I learned this thing." And like they wrote a paper or something and you ask them questions about it and they can't answer the questions.
Yeah.
It's like,
Or like
"Oh,
they
you
can't
didn't
share
learn
their
it."
screen and show you how to do whatever thing that they're talking to you about. It takes that extra step of doing and internalizing.
I totally was one of those people in school where I could cram before a test and I could ace the test. I could get
Oh,
100 on
yes.
any test. But then if you ask me a week later anything, I'd be like, I don't know. And
Good
it's so
question,
true.
right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
wild how much of it is not retained. And so being in learning development for me, it's funny because I was the kid that could ace any test, but then not retain it, right? And you're so right. We talk about this a lot. It's like if your behavior didn't change, you didn't learn. Like you might have learned it in theory, but you didn't
Yeah.
actually learn how to do it or change. What do you wish companies knew or did differently as it relates to learning and development?
Hmm. Well, I'll draw it back to our space again. So in the marketing sphere, we have founders and clients who, in some cases, are very excited about the newest trends that pop out of whatever tactics are happening right now. A big one is AI, right? I mean, enablement through AI, AI agents, AI operations, AI driven marketing. And I think one important element of successfully leveraging anything new is a deeper understanding of what it does, why it's being perceived as successful. So that research stage before requesting execution, I think is extremely important, which I think falls under leadership and development, doing your legwork during your
You would hope
research,
so.
one would think,
Yeah.
right? We get lots of shiny object syndrome in our industry, and being able to take a step back, take a close look, and do some research. And then another thing that I definitely would love to see business owners and founders take more time to think through is actual tracking of results. Um, and so, you experiment with something and think of it as an experiment, as a test, but build the infrastructure to actually measure how the outcome is. I think that's gold, right? Um,
Yeah,
to
I
test
love
your assumptions.
the way you said the first point of the research is so critical. And what I talk a lot about is, that's always my concern with AI. Like I always tell people AI is an enablement tool. It's not a replacement tool. You have to do the thinking. You can't outsource the thinking. And I think the thing that worries me the most is people say like, "Oh, I can just type in, how many leaders have come to me and said, 'My people need time management training.'" And when you barely scratch the surface, it's not a time management, 95% of the time, it is not a time management issue. It is a communication gap. It is a leadership issue. It is a vision issue, 99% of the time. The problem is, I love your point about the research because a lot of times people will just accept it like, I am the founder and I say my people need time management, so I'm just going to type into AI, make me a time management course, and off to the races we go. But the second piece is critical that you said of tracking the results, because what's
Yeah.
going to happen if you do measure your what we call return on investment, your track your results, you're going to realize, wait a second, I just gave everybody time management. Why am I still having the same problem? It's because time management wasn't actually the issue with people being able to be successful, and so you fix the wrong problem. And I think that speed to do, and everyone knows who's listening knows I'm very action biased. I love acting, I love doing, I love completing. But if you don't take that, like you said, that 1-2 punch is so critical. What you just said, the research piece of taking the time to realize, is this really the best thing that's going to bring me the success the fastest? And the second piece of, am I measuring, is this thing leading me to success? And if not, then refining.
Well, and
Hmm.
I think what we're seeing more and more right now, and AI is making this like such a big piece, is if you don't do that research stage, you don't make that foundation really strong on what you're doing. AI is just an accelerant. It's going to make
Right.
everything go faster, faster. But if what you're accelerating is bad, the implications of that bad are going to be that much bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We in project management we talk about garbage in, garbage out. So the garbage in
Yeah.
super fast, or garbage out super fast.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So that's a good thing, right? Is like if you can accelerate the types of testing that you're doing, as long as you're tracking it, then you're getting more data, and that's good.
And then you're getting the iterative improvements as well, much quicker.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good thing in the accelerant side.
Exactly. Always about continuous improvement. Well, this has been super fun. We always like to leave the audience with one actionable tip or takeaway that they can take today to make their tomorrow better. So, Kate, you're first on my screen. What would you like to leave the audience with today? What's the tip that's going to take us to the next level?
Hmm. I mean, I really think it all comes down to that foundational knowledge. So my tip would be slow down. Slow down in that research, slow down in your thinking, slow down in what you're doing to get that foundation really strong, and then apply tools to make things go faster. So always start slow and then build faster.
Absolutely. Kelsey, what do you have for us today?
I think get the system dialed in, right? Like our brains are the worst possible storage device and memory device at our fingertips now. And if you can create systems and repeatable processes and document those things in a way that you or any other person on your team could revisit them. And this is as true for marketing as it is for any other business operation. But that is going to pay massive dividends in the long run and make you able to scale what you're doing more easily. So
Yeah,
it's a big
absolutely.
one. Mhm.
It really is. And I think both of you, thank you so much for being here. And I think both of you have a really good point about being, what I hear you both saying is like be intentional. Be intentional, well, intentional about how you're applying what you're doing, why you're doing it, and then create structure around how you're doing it so that you can continue to refine it.
I think that's a great
Yeah,
summary.
All
nailed
right. Well,
it.
this has been so much fun. Thanks again for being here.
Thanks,
Thank
Amanda.
you.
We'll see you soon.
And with that, we'll begin to wrap up. So I hope this discussion gave our audience a few new perspectives, sparked some ideas, and left you with at least one takeaway you can put into action immediately. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and join us every Tuesday as we continue exploring learning, leadership, and what it takes to help people and organizations grow. And if today's conversation resonated with you, or if you'd like to join me for a future episode, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and let's talk again on Tuesday. Thanks, everyone.